Yep. You already know who it is, man. It's King Ade with the Wizards Review. It's a tough loss, man. Tough loss. It was looking good somewhat in the first half, but the second half was a totally different story. It just showed there was levels to this. You know what I mean? In regards to the type of players you have on the floor. You know what I mean? Like, we have good up and coming players that are getting better and better, and I'm liking the progress. I'm liking what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? With the young guys and stuff like that. But what we don't have on the floor currently are two players that can close the game, like professional scorers that been there, done that. It's nothing to them. You know what I mean? They could slump early. It could look like they're going to have a bad game, and all of a sudden, they just turn it on. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bradley Beal's that type of player. You know what I'm saying? He's that type of player. But right now, he's not playing. We don't have a player on our roster on that level, especially on the perimeter. You know what I mean? The best player we have on our roster playing is Porzingis. You know what I'm saying? And he's a good player. Has a lot of potential. You know what I mean? But there were some things tonight that kind of showed some of his weaknesses. So anyway, man, although we lost tonight, still was a good game until the second half, especially fourth quarter. But since we lost, I'm going to start with some of the things that I liked tonight, you know what I mean? And off jump, man, I thought our offense was flowing early. You know what I'm saying? We were pushing the pace definitely, which I'm liking. Our pace since Satoransky has been put in the starting lineup has been much better. You know what I mean? And then when you add Denny coming off the bench, Ish Smith coming off the bench, pushing Denny getting rebounds and immediately pushing the basketball. I just like the pace that we're playing with. You know what I mean? So I definitely like that. Rui tonight, he played well, man, leading scorer, you know what I'm saying? He was doing it all. He showed a lot of his offensive repertoire, you know what I'm saying? Started the second half scoring immediately, hit a three, had a turnaround mid-range look, and then it was like a mid-range, and then he had like the backup turnaround to the basket move. I mean, he was showing it all. You know what I mean? 3-level scorer. You know what I mean? Getting better and better, much more comfortable out there scoring for us. You know what I mean? So I definitely like what I saw from him tonight. Satoransky tonight, man, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, man, was the right call to have him starting at the point guard position. He has to be a player that we bring back. And, you know what I mean? As the backup point guard, you know what I mean? But if we don't get a starting point guard, initially I was advocating for him starting a point guard if we don't bring in, a better point guard, you know what I'm saying? But I saw something on Twitter, and I was hesitant towards this, you know what I'm saying? Earlier in the season when Bill was playing and he had to run the point guard, you know what I'm saying? He showed some ability running the point guard position, but to me, he's a much more of a natural two-guard a natural two-guard. So I'm like, I don't know if I want him to be the primary ball handler all the time, like the starting point guard. You know what I'm saying? But when somebody on Twitter, I forgot who it was, but he said something about our starting five next season, having Porzingis at the 5, Kuzma at the 4, Kuzma at the 3, Rui at the 4. If we keep KCP, have him at the 2. And have Bill at the 1. At first I was like, nah, and then I said, nah, you know what? That's not such a bad idea if we don't get that point guard that we need. Bradley Beal could still play off the ball and bring Satoransky off the bench. You know what I'm saying? So he could still switch between the 1 and the 2. But I think that might, give too much energy running the point, having to facilitate and score. That's the only thing I'm hesitant about Bill starting at the point guard position. But just thinking about that idea, he is a small 2 guard, and he would be a big point guard if he decided to play the point. He will get better over the season running the point. I still don't believe he's a natural point guard, but he has shown the ability to be able to run the point at times throughout the season. So, it's definitely a possibility, but we definitely need 2 point guards because Sadaransky, he played well. He didn't score in double figures tonight, but he did have 10 assists and no turnovers. You know what I mean? You got to give credit. And, you know what I mean? It was definitely, you could definitely see the difference between him and his backup, Ish Smith. You know what I mean? Ish Smith had a minus, what did he have tonight? I know it was a negative double digit, negative 12 on the floor. Sadaransky was a negative 1 on the floor. You know what I'm saying? But we lost by 13. You know what I'm saying? Ish Smith was a negative 12 at the point guard position. He cannot be our backup point guard next season. He might be our third point guard, maybe. You know what I mean? Because everybody likes him. He's a good team guy, things of that nature. But I'm talking about winning. You know what I'm saying? We need a bigger point guard. And if we're going to pay Bradley Beal that amount of money, then he might as well start running the point. You know what I'm saying? Save some roster spots and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, I definitely like what I saw from Saturday night running the point. Kispert, he wasn't as effective from the three-point line as he has been in the past. You know what I mean? But he was hitting threes. He hit a couple threes tonight. He was off for the most part. And he also has some strong cuts to the basket. You know what I mean? So he's definitely still being effective out there, playing smart basketball. Although he didn't score as effectively as he did the other night, you know, he still played decent tonight, man. So I definitely like seeing him just always trying to make something happen, regardless if he has a bad play or not. Porzingis tonight, he had a double-double. You know what I'm saying? He had... I believe he had he had 5 assists, you know what I'm saying? So he had, you know, double-double, 5 assists, 3 blocks. From a numbers looking on paper perspective, it looks like a decent game, you know what I'm saying? We need him to be more of a 20-point per game scorer, you know what I'm saying? But if you watch the game, it wasn't one of his best games overall tonight, you know what I'm saying? But he still had some flashes, still showed some ability. And again, once you have better players with him, you know, like a Bill, Kuzma, he's going to be even more effective, you know what I mean? So, but he didn't have his best game, but he still managed to have a double-double tonight. And that's what a quality player could do. Even if he doesn't have his best game with the eye test, he still has the ability to put up a double-double, you know what I'm saying? So, you got to give him a little credit for that. Like I said earlier, Denny was pushing the pace, but he also hitting his jumper, played some great defense at times against DeMar DeRozan. You know what I'm saying? And he hit some big threes in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? Looking like we were going to, you know, keep the game close and possibly pull off the win, but the Bulls just got hot, got on fire, and there was nothing we could do about it. You know what I mean? Again, it just shows the level. There's levels to players in the league, and you need superstars to win in this league. You can have a lot of good players, a lot of developing players that you can see potential in, but when you have those type of players playing against, you know, players that are, you know, borderline MVP candidates and things of that nature, there's a clear difference, and especially when it comes to crunch time, there's a clear difference, and it really was shown and exposed towards the end of the fourth quarter tonight. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely still like what Denny did, just showing his ability, showing his improvement from the beginning of the season to now. And I believe next season he's going to be a much better player. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely like some of the things that I saw from him tonight. Even though I didn't feel Ish Smith had the best game tonight, he didn't. I mean, a negative 12 tells it all on the floor. You know what I'm saying? He did do some impressive things tonight. Blocked DeRozan, had a big block on DeRozan, you know what I'm saying? Had a nice little reverse layup. Did a little bit, you know, a little bit tonight. But overall, he wasn't effective enough for us to get the win. And that's all it's about. You cannot be the point guard and have a double-digit negative plus minus and expect to be effective on the floor and us expect to win, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely didn't like that part, but he did show some flashes, so I gotta give him a little credit. I like Gafford getting to the rim tonight, you know what I'm saying? Some alley-oops, stuff like that. You know, the things that Gafford does, you know what I mean? I don't believe he scored in double digits tonight. No, he only had 2 points tonight. Only 4. when you look at the box, man, I don't know, man. I don't know if I should even put him on the list. It felt like he was doing more than what the box score said, though. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't, he wasn't as effective as I thought he was. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, Gil got in the game. Gave us a little those quality professional minutes that he usually gives us when he gets in the game. He didn't play too much tonight, but when he played, he still had some good plays, a couple of effective plays. So I definitely liked him. Just I like Anthony Gill, and I hope that we just keep him next season. Even if he's at the end of the bench, just having him on our team is a good presence. You know what I mean? Because it just, I'm not in the locker room, I'm not on the bench, but it's like I could feel his positive energy through the screen. You know what I mean? So I definitely like that. And then in the first half, LaVine and DeRozan, they weren't effective. You know what I'm saying? They weren't effective. That is good. Unfortunately, another one of their third player was effective. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to, those are the things that I like tonight. You know what I'm saying? But that DeRozan and LaVine line of them in the first half not being effective is going to lead us to the things that I dislike. You know what I mean? And off jump, man, like I said earlier, Vucevic, DeRozan and LaVine didn't play well in the first half, but Vucevic held them down in the first half. He had 9 points, the first 9 points for the Bulls in the game. He had 15 points in the first quarter, 20 points in the first half. He finished the game with 27 points. You know what I'm saying? So he was definitely effective. But one thing he was exposing, and one of the things that I was mentioning in earlier live streams, was that he was any quality center with some weight on him is going to give Porzingis problems. You know what I'm saying? Because Porzingis, he's tall, but he's not he's not an imposing figure in the post. He's just tall. So it's hard to shoot over him if he puts his hands up. But if you're playing a center that has post moves, that has some strength, that, you know what I'm saying, that could bang with the best of them, that's going to be a problem for Porzingis, and that showed up tonight. Vucevic was giving it to him. You know what I'm saying? Vucevic was giving it to him. Straight up and down. Like, I'm not even going to front, man. Like I said, Vucevic had 27 points. He only had 5 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? 4 assists. You know what I mean? But just the points, the ease of him scoring in the paint, shooting threes, he was a problem for Porzingis tonight, and that's one of the things that I worry about in regards to Porzingis when we play good to elite centers. He's still going to get his numbers because he's a problem too. It's not like he can't, you know what I mean? It's not like Vucevic could really guard him, but tonight I believe, even though he had, more assists, Porzingis had more assists and more rebounds. Especially in the first half, I just felt that Vucevic was more effective and more of a presence in the game because obviously they got the win. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like how Vucevic was doing Porzingis dirty in the first half. There were times within the game, especially in the first quarter, some bad turnovers, some bad passes by both Denny and Ish. You know what I'm saying? I recall, some people were saying Denny should run the point guard position. Tonight's show, like, Denny is a good ball handler for a 3. He's a good 3, like somebody that could have the ball at the 3, bring the ball up, make some good passes, make some, play make. But there's a difference between a great ball handling 3 and a true point guard. You know what I'm saying? And as good as Denny is showing himself to be and some of the qualities that he have in this game, he's not a point guard. You know what I mean? He is not a point guard. He is a true 3 that just happens to be able to handle the ball well and makes good decisions with the ball and can play defense. You know what I'm saying? But he's not a point guard. And some of the passes that we saw today showed that he's not a true point guard. You know what I'm saying? But he is a better than average 3, small forward, passing and handling the ball. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely didn't like the turnovers. First half, what were we? 5, was it in the first half or first quarter? In the first quarter, we had 5 turnovers. 1 for 7 from the 3-point line. We had a terrible first quarter, a terrible start to the game. and helped lead to the loss. Although we came back, took the lead, so I don't want to blame the first quarter on our loss. It really wasn't the first quarter why we lost the game. We lost the game in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? So let me make that clear. Green for the Bulls got hot tonight in the second quarter. He was giving us problems. Like I said, Vucevic was giving us problems in the first half, and Green helped out in the first half. We contained DeRozan and Levine, though. You know what I'm saying? I wish we contained Vucevic a little better. But Green, had a big, a nice second quarter. Stepped it up for the Bulls a little bit. You know what I mean? Kept them close. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was worried about, man. You know what I mean? Because it's like, we don't have a big enough lead. I don't know. We weren't even up, I don't believe, going into halftime. You know what I mean? So, and their best players on the perimeter had a bet, didn't have a great game in the first half. So I was definitely worried. And my worries came to fruition in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of the second half, the Bulls went on a 10-2 run in the third quarter. They were getting to the rim easily tonight, especially in the second half. Their points in the paint, they won the points in the paint battle as well. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. And then the Bulls had a 9-0 run in the fourth quarter as well. You know what I'm saying? So again, they started to get hot, and we just couldn't score at times in the second half, and that was the difference between the Bulls and us tonight. You know what I'm saying? Also, in the fourth quarter, we had some terrible turnovers. Terrible, reckless turnovers in crunch time that helped contribute to the loss. So I'm definitely disappointed about that. Levine he was really cold for 3.5 quarters, but he hit some big shots towards the end of the fourth quarter to help the Bulls secure the win. You know what I'm saying? But the thing I dislike the most, man, and I've seen this movie play out over the years, whether this brother was in Toronto, whether he's in Chicago, DeMar DeRozan be killing us in the fourth quarter, man. I remember there was one game a few years ago that I swear DeMar DeRozan had the smoothest 35 points that I've ever seen. Like, it was so smooth how he was scoring. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did to us again tonight in the second half, and especially in the fourth quarter. Like, he's a true closer. True closer. When the game's on the line, you could count on him. Like, he looked terrible in the first half. We looked like we had him under control. And even in the second half, then he had some good defensive possessions against him, but then he could not stop him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the same guy that on New Year's Day hit the game winner that was so painful. That same guy, DeMar DeRozan, and he did the same thing to us tonight. Just closed us out, man. You know what I mean? He definitely showed tonight why he's a borderline MVP candidate, man. Very impressive, very impressive. Kudos to him. You know what I'm saying? He's the reason for real why we lost the game. We could not guard him when we needed to. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't stop him. We let Vucevic go off in the first half. Then we let DeRozan go off in the second half. And that's why we lost the game. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. That's really all I got, man. Tough loss, man. We couldn't stop DeRozan, period. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't stop him. That's why we lost the game. You know what I mean? There's not really much more to say about it. It was a hard-fought game, but when it's about talent in the NBA, man, and there's levels to it. And right now, we have developing players that are going to look promising versus players that are all-stars, players that are, MVP candidates. There's a clear difference, you know what I'm saying? So, and on top of that, fighting for positioning in the playoffs versus a team that is out of the playoff picture completely. You know what I'm saying? So there was just a lot of things going against us. We held it down for a little bit, but when it was crunch time, we had nothing for them, man. We just took the L. Tough loss. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, that's all I got for y'all. If you like the content tonight, I would really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel at the Wizards Review on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can follow me, King Ade, King Ade DMV on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and NBA 2K22 on the Xbox Series X and S. You know what I mean? So we got a back-to-back. We play Orlando tomorrow, so hopefully we could get the win. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully you could join me. I'll be here for sure. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, enjoy your evening. Until tomorrow, take care. Peace.